when the world gets weird. It's time to join Jennifer Warren as she gets deep with deep tokes and deep thoughts with professional dreamers. Where political technobabble makes your weekly head change seem almost normal. Because when the weird turn pro and the dreamers turn surreal, say hello to Jennifer Warren.
In science, there's a strange phenomenon called the triple point. This is a phenomenon where water can reach a state where the temperature, the pressure, and the relative humidity is just right so that water becomes both in a freezing state, a boiling state, and a gaseous state all at once. In other words, the triple point. I like to think that the United States has reached a triple point. We have a government of, by, and for the Republican Party. It is supporting a president that is openly treasonous, a president who has gone to Helsinki, Finland, to meet with the leader of the most brutal dictatorship on earth, and has declared this man a wonderful human being. We're not doing wonderfully in terms of our relationship was because American politicians, going all the way back to Harry Truman, had been stupid. That all the presidents and all the congressmen and all the senators and all the judges and all the people of America who have lived over the last 60 years were stupid. I guess that includes the people who voted for him. Well, I won't argue with the fact that the people who voted for him were stupid, because I think the test results speak for themselves, don't you? Reporters were asking for whether or not Putin had anything on him, whether or not he was being blackmailed. Of course, he didn't say no to that, neither did Putin. But the reason I say that we're at a triple point in our politics is because when Donald Trump stood on the same stage with one of the most brutal dictators on earth and praised Putin, and at the same time damned everyone who lives in America. When he did that, the most that Republicans did was come out with oh, well, that was very naughty, Donald. And one brave Republican, one brave soul, Rand Paul, stood up and said, why, you shouldn't speak so harshly to the Donald. He's a good boy. He'd done everything that President Putin has told him to. And, I mean, he loves Mother Russia more than America. I mean, well, maybe he loves America sometimes, but what he loves most is his wallet. And that's the important thing, really, isn't it? You know, I really didn't think that it was possible for Putin to go to Helsinki and stick his hand so far up Donald Trump's ass that Rand Paul would start talking in Washington. I mean, that's a pretty good trick, don't you think? You know, if Putin can do card tricks and maybe juggle, he could get some pretty good work as doing children's parties. And after a while, he could turn maybe professional. What do you think? As for me, I'm thinking that maybe my career as a podcaster is going to be over after this episode, so I really don't give a shit what I say. And let me tell you why I think that my career is going to be over. It was a short career, and I had fun with it. But let me tell you why I think it's going to be over. It's because of what I'm about to say. You see, I am an unabashed and unapologetic atheist. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't love you. It doesn't even mean that I don't want to be friends anymore. About all it really means is that, well, I don't think that there's enough proof to show that there's any god, goddess, supernatural, cosmic, ultra, mega force, whatever you want to call it, that exists. Okay, that's all I'm trying to say. Now, if you've got proof that says otherwise, and you can prove it scientifically, then by God, if you'll pardon the expression, I'll be willing to look at your evidence and look at the results of any reports and studies that have been done in any peer-reviewed scientific journal. But since I've never seen any such things, I'm going to have to say the jury's still out. And since I think the jury's still out, I have to take a look at the people who say, hey, I know what God thinks. Because those people are really, as far as I'm concerned, trying to put one over on you. I've always thought that, ever since I was a kid. They came to me and they said, there's this invisible guy in the clouds, way up high, where nobody can see him. And he invented everything. Really? Tell me more. How can I talk to this guy? Well, first you have to close your eyes. Why? Is he afraid of me? No, he's all powerful. He doesn't have to be afraid of you. You're just a little kid. Really? So he's not afraid of me, but I have to close my eyes. Is it a surprise? Is he going to bring me a present? No, he doesn't bring presents. Well, then why am I closing my eyes? Because that's the only way you can talk to him. Okay. So, this is a little weird, but tell me a little bit about how you know this person is worth talking to. Well, a long time ago, he invented the first two people. And from those two people, we got black people and brown people and Asian people and all kinds of people of all different colors, billions of people across the world, and for the amount of inbreeding, very few retards. That's how you know he's God. Okay, so why don't we see him? Well, you see, there was this snake, and it went into this garden. Oh, wow, did anybody get bit? You know, they need to see a doctor if they get bit. No, they didn't get bit, but the snake started telling this woman, wait a minute, you mean the snake talked? Yes, the snake could talk because the snake was the devil. Who's the devil? He's God's enemy. So you can see the snake. Yes. Where is this snake? Let's kill him off if he's God's enemy. Well, he's not really a snake. He came into the snake. Wait a minute. Is this a sex story? I was a precocious little kid. No, get your mind out of the gutter. The snake could talk because the devil is a spirit, and it took over the body of a snake and made it talk. So the devil can make animals talk? That's amazing. No, the devil can't make animals talk. Only God can make animals talk. I see. So are there any talking animals you can show me to prove that? No, of course not. God doesn't do that sort of thing. So God made this snake talk so that his enemy could do something. Yeah. So is God an idiot or what? No, God knows everything. Oh, I see. So what is it that this snake did? Thinking to myself, this sounds like bullshit already. Oh, the snake talked this woman into eating a piece of fruit off of a tree after God told her not to. Okay, so where's this tree? What's the big deal about this fruit? Well, it would make a person smart. Wow, that sounds like a pretty good deal. I'd like to eat some of this fruit. I'd like to be smart. No, you can't find it. God took the tree away, so you can't even see it anymore. I see. So, you can't see God. You can't hear God. There are talking animals that you can't prove exist. And there's a tree that can make you smart, but it's been taken away, so you can't prove it exists either. Do I about got that right? Yes, you've got it. And so God was perfectly happy with how things were going along after that. No, of course not. He killed all the people on the planet except for one family. I see. Why did he do that? Because they were evil and wicked. So this is a being who believes in genocide. Okay? So how is it that we have all these animals and things around today? Well, all the animals of the planet fit onto a boat that was about a third the size of the Titanic. Really? And how long were they on this boat? Well, they were on there it rained for 40 days and 40 nights, but they were on that boat for, roughly about a year. Okay, so what did these animals eat? Well, we don't know. I guess God made them all turn vegetarians. Even the lions and the tigers. Okay, fine. What about all the plant life? That would have been killed off if there was a blood big enough to carry a boat. Well, that all died off. So where was all this food that was being delivered to all these animals? God made it magically appear. Really? Where did you read that? Well, it's a matter of faith. Well, you know what? The reason they call it faith is because it's not fact. So let's take a look at your faith. You say that God wiped out all the evil on earth. So is there still evil? Yes. Is he willing to prevent evil, but not able? Well, if he's willing to prevent evil and he doesn't do anything, then it doesn't really matter if he's able or not. It has the same effect. So we might as well say he's not really omnipotent because he has mental barriers at the very least. Is he able, but he's not willing? Well, then he is malevolent. Is he both able and willing? Then why do we have evil? Is he neither able or willing? Then why do you call him God? I mean, this sounds like the biggest pile of bullshit I've ever heard in my life. Of course, I didn't talk like that when I was a kid, but it was enough for me to hear those words that I think every kid has heard at least 1 billion times in their life. Don't get smart, you smart-ass little bastard, or something to that effect. Because let's face it, this is what all religious parents or parents with religious training teach their children. And that is, we do not want our kids to grow up with the ability to have critical judgment or rational thought. We want stupid, gullible people who will believe whatever they're told, who are just smart enough to run the machines and just dumb enough to do whatever the hell they're told. And that is how I became an atheist, because I have never been the sort of person who would blindly do whatever the hell I'm told by whatever idiot comes along and tells me to do something. Now, I'll grant you that when I escaped the prison of my childhood, I was pretty messed up, and it took me quite a while to put myself together into some sort of a form that you know and love today. Just what that form is, I have no idea, but it's a form. And as long as you have a form, you have the potential of reaching the speed of light squared. Einstein said that. He was a pretty smart fellow back in his day. Of course, he never became president, but that might be a good thing, because most presidents are, let's face it, idiots. Case in point, my favorite subject, Donald Trump. Donald Trump, who goes to Helsinki, Finland, to meet with And he says to